Hi, I'm Andrew, an entrepreneur and a computer science student,
Hi, I'm Raveen, a psychology major student.
and you're now listening to the Ink Thoughts podcast, where we ponder and talk about incongruous thoughts ranging from our daily life to the human mind.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of In Thoughts podcast. So it has been quite busy for me lately, like there's so many assignments to be done. Yeah, and everything is like so close to, the deadlines are so close to each other that I literally had to really plan my time out and work on them because it's not the issue that I just want them to get submitted, but of course I want a good mark as well. And so I have to put in enough effort for each of my different exams and assignments. I'm literally still preparing for one that is to be submitted tomorrow, but anyway, I'll still go on with this podcast first. So because I've been so busy with assignments and stuff like this lately that it inspired me to talk about stress. Like we all know that too much stress is not good and it's unhealthy for us in terms of our mental health. Like when you got too stressed up, some people might even develop, like, let's say, depression or anxiety. But in general, it's still unhealthy for us if we didn't really manage our stress well. However, when there's too little stress, I'm not sure if you guys have that kind of experience before, like when you're just so stress free, you really don't feel motivated to do much. Because there's no pressure for you to put in effort, especially if that thing is not something that you particularly enjoy doing. If it's something that you enjoy doing, of course there's no issue. You would still go on and do it. But if it's something that you don't particularly enjoy, usually when you're too stress free, you won't do it, right? So we will say optimal level of stress is the best condition. However, most of the time, we couldn't really control over that. Like we don't have a choice for that. Like things just come to you. You don't really have the privilege to choose, like I want to handle this stress, I don't want to handle that stress. We don't usually have that privilege to do so. So of course, like we know, like suddenly you might have a bit too much on your plate that you couldn't really handle during that moment, that makes you so stressed over different stuff that is happening to you, that you have to handle, you have to work on it, you have to think about it, you have to find the solutions to it. But of course, sometimes we still have to admit that sometimes when we ended up having too much to do is because of us procrastinating too much at the beginning, that everything has been piling up at the end of the day, that you still have to face it. Of course, like procrastination is something most of us still doing, although we know we shouldn't. But sometimes we just can't fight over the short-term gratification that we still procrastinate. Of course, me too. That's why I still have to work on my assignments to be submitted tomorrow. So I'll say stress is such a normal part in our life, and so we have to learn how to manage it and remain a healthy relationship with stress, because we know that it's kind of impossible for us to just leave all those stress out. Like it's kind of impossible. At certain stage of our life, we still face stress, even for shorter duration of time. It still happens, right? So I'll say I'm someone that tend to suppress my stress sometimes, that I don't really notice it. So it will then slowly lead me into like feeling a bit too much at one point. So nowadays, when I notice that I'm doing that, I'll try to manage it. Like I know I've started feeling stress coming in, and so I have to be aware of that. And like most of the time, the reason that you're feeling stressed is because there's just so much for you to do. So of course, the first thing that you do is to complete that. Then your stress will be away, right? So I'll now share some my personal experience and like so-called tips on how I try to maintain a healthy relationship with stress. Yeah. So first thing I'll usually do is to calm myself down because I know when I'm in a condition of very anxious and stressful, I couldn't function well. Yeah. My brain couldn't even process things properly. Yeah. So it will then lead me into don't really know how to handle my stuff, like so many things going on in my mind that I don't really know where to start, which to focus on, and it ended up causing a lot of problems. Yeah. And so what I do to keep myself calm is that I try to practice deep breathing. Yeah. It is actually something that all of us should learn and practice. Like it will show you good benefits in long terms, as in like your body is so used to deep breathing that it always tell your body, tell your brain that it is not a fight or flight situation that you are ready for a fight or something. That's actually no threat. Yeah, you just have to keep yourself calm, stuff like this. Yeah. And another thing that I try to do is to meditate if I need it. Yeah. I know sometimes I'm just so out of focus, like I don't really know what to do. I'm just so stressful over things that I feel so anxious deep inside. Yeah. My heart is palpitating and I don't really I can't really focus and function well. And then I try to meditate that time. I know during that moment itself, you will still feel not that good because you can't really focus on your meditation process as well. But try it for a few days. You will see the difference. Like, although it's not like a very huge difference because it takes practice for you to be able to meditate in a very focused mind and condition, but still you will notice like little difference. Like slowly over the time, you might be able to do it in a better way. Yeah. So after that, I remember there was a few morning I woke up feeling so anxious. I don't know why. I know that there's a few assignments coming up, but still, I'm actually not that near to those deadlines that time. But still, I feel so anxious. I don't feel well, and it makes you feel very worse because it's the first thing that you feel when you woke up. Yeah, it's like no, I don't like that experience. I now understand when people who have anxiety tell us like I woke up feeling anxious. Yeah, I experienced the exact same thing, I'll say. Yeah. So I knew I was stressed during that time, and I totally know that it is a very unhealthy thing to do. I have to do something for myself. So that time I try to meditate every morning that period and kind of give me a good start of the day. Yeah. It calms me down is one thing, and another thing is the action itself is telling me I'm trying to start my day in a good way. Yeah. Then after that, I find myself being able to focus on things slightly better. Although it's not like I'm able to focus in a very good way that I don't get distracted at all and I don't feel anxious at all. But yeah, I do feel and see the improvement and after being able to focus on the task on my hand and complete it, of course, it does help to decrease my stress because yeah, the main factor is actually the work itself. As long as you get it done, yeah, you can literally take away your stress now. Yeah. So another thing that I'll say, like, yeah, sometimes especially when we have so much to do, we are just everywhere, like we don't really know where to start. Yeah, try to break down the big tasks, like eat the elephant one bite at a time. Of course, I know that it is easy to say than do, but you know that you get distracted so easily into how much there's still left for you to do and you feel anxious all over the place. But try to do that. Yeah, I tried a few times and at the beginning I still feel like, oh my god, I'm still doing A, like there's still A, B, C, D, E waiting for me, and what if I don't get E done first? And yeah, it's normal that your mind will just bombard you with all this kind of like what if, what if. But that time itself, like I tried to list them down. Yeah, after list them down, I see which one is more important, as in like priority. Yeah, in terms of their priority, and try to get them done first, like taking off a few. After getting a few done, you feel a lot better. Yeah, that was my personal experience. Yeah, and if that still doesn't help, I journal. I know sometimes during the journaling process you might feel like, oh my god, I haven't finished my task yet. What am I doing, like wasting my time writing all these things down? But trust me, just give yourself, let's say, 10 to 15 minutes. Yeah, give that 10 to 15 minutes to yourself and try to journal down whatever is in your mind that moment, because all those kind of thoughts and things have been running all everywhere in your mind that is affecting your focus. Yeah, and sometimes I know there's actually a lot of stuff, but it just don't make sense to me. Yeah, so I journal to help myself to make sense of things that are in my mind. Yeah, so by throwing them out, it actually helps you to understand what you are actually thinking. Yeah, which at the end of the day, you know what is the main reason that is causing you to feel so stressed, and you know where to tackle them first. Yeah, after that, I also make sure that, although I know like sometimes because you have so much to do, you don't really, I mean, you're running out of time, you kind of try to sacrifice your sleep. Yeah, but trust me, if you're able to do so, try to make sure you get enough sleep. It's not like you have to get a lot of sleep, but get enough sleep. Yeah. Although I'll say when I'm stressed, I tend to have a lot of dreams that kind of interrupted my sleep. At the next day, I wouldn't feel as fresh as if I don't have, I mean, if I have a very good sleep that I don't have any dreams. But still, I'll try to get myself enough sleep so that I won't be distracted by sleepiness the next day. That cause me, because sometimes you feel, you have so much to do, but you feel sleepy that you can't really focus on your stuff, and then you feel anxious. And if let's say you give yourself the time to nap or something, after the nap itself you still feel anxious, like the cycle keeps on running, that makes you feel so bad that day itself, and then it interrupted your productivity level, which at the end of the day you can't get enough done, and you feel even more stressed. Yeah, so try to get yourself enough sleep so that you wake up, if possible, fresh the next day. If no, at least you get enough rest that your body is now back to the normal energy level to start working again. Yeah, so other than that, I also try to work out. Yeah, although I won't say I'm a very, like, those people that love workout so much, but I try to because nowadays, like, we go park run with our friends, so I try to maintain that 5 km run once a week. Then I usually go Pilates once in a week. Yeah, and also bouldering once a week. So at least I try to get myself active during this time. Yeah, and sometimes when you're trying to do different kind of activities, it helps you to feel energized as well. Yeah, especially like working out, it's not like they're draining energy, but instead they are trying to makes you feel refreshed and recharge you, that you are able to come back more productively afterwards. Yeah, so I'll say the last thing that I think is very important is try don't to be so hard on yourself when you know that you're not in the right condition. Give yourself some love. Yeah, at the end of the day, you are the most important asset and most important thing to yourself. The life is yours. Yeah, if you know you are not in the right condition and you know you have to do something for yourself, go do it. Just for yourself, not for anyone else. And during that period of time, pushing yourself too much is not something that you would appreciate or you would prefer, then just don't do it. Just follow. Of course, I'm not saying like I'm not saying to leave your work there and not doing them. Yeah, it will makes you feel even stressed. Just that don't be too hard on yourself, like criticizing yourself or saying some negative words to yourself. Yeah, that won't help. Love yourself and try to give yourself more positive reinforcement and also positive energy that can drive you and working harder and makes you feel more motivated to do more. Yeah, it is important that you don't push yourself too much under condition like this that eventually will demotivate you even more and lead you to a more stressful situation. Yeah. Before I end today's episode, I guess that's all those like kind of like experience and tips that I'd like to share today. So before I end today's episode, I'll say it's unrealistic to force ourselves to think about living a stress-free life, especially under the society and workforce today. Yeah, because it's like so competitive. What we can do instead is to learn how to maintain a healthy relationship with stress and eventually use it to help us in achieving more, being more productive. Yeah, I'll say I'm still trying and always reflect on how I'm doing it, and so I hope you guys will be able to do it as well. And thank you very much for listening today, and if you do have any comments or anything that you'd like to let us know, feel free to drop us a message on any of our social media or email it to us. Other than that, I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the podcast. If you enjoyed, do share with your friends and family and leave us a review on the Apple Podcast. If you are not using an Apple device, you can leave a review on the Apple Podcast website with a link in the show notes. If you have any feedback or thoughts which you hope that we'll discuss in the future, feel free to email them to us at hello@incthoughts.com, or alternatively, you can send us a private message on our Facebook, Instagram or Twitter with the username of incthoughtspod. Thanks again, and see you all next week. Bye-bye.